Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. It's your girl, Keisha, back with another dope session. Make sure you have not, if you have not subscribed, then make sure you are subscribed to the Upgraded Mindsets Media channel here on YouTube. Make sure you are favoriting the Woman's Hustle on all your favorite podcast streaming platforms so you don't miss these amazing episodes. Listen, y'all, this one is going to be no different. We are women business owners. We talk about all things analytics. We talk about strategic growth. We talk about building. But a lot of times we don't talk about the personal side of things. And this episode is going to be just that. So grab your notebook, do what you got to do. But I'm going to allow my guest the honor of introducing herself because she about to bring some heat to y'all. Hello, hello, hello.
My name is Chaya Garcia. I'm a relationship and dating expert and an entrepreneur. And so for the past 20 years, I've learned exactly what destroys marriages when they think they're going to start off and continue to be great. And I have reverse engineered to the T exactly what signs you need to see in the dating process to avoid all the abandonment and hardships that come after. And now I
Listen.
help women get there.
I love it. I love it. Y'all know I talk about the alignments all the time. And a lot of times, and this is exactly why I have been doing what I do for almost 6 years. A lot of times women will try to skip over the personal part and try to build these businesses when you are not aligned from a personal perspective. So we're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about partnerships, dating, and being in alignment with the person that is going to help you continue to build. All right.
Yes.
Please share a little bit about your backstory and how you got where you are today being the amazing expert that you are.
Well, I was the American dream. I went to college, got straight A's, and was only a few semesters away from my doctorate. But I decided if I ever want to get married, I don't want to ever be in school. So I stopped at my master's, and I was about 26 years old with my master's completed, straight A's, honors, was running every day, owned my own house, owned my own car, and had a hot boyfriend. I mean, I was the epitome of American success. But I was sick. I was
Mm,
so silently ill because the boyfriend at the time left me to go snort ketamine upstate New York and told me he's finally choosing the drugs over me. And I thought, how? In my fetal position, crying,
yeah, right.
how does this successful girl with her straight A's end up with a man who's going to snort ketamine? I was like, how? How does this happen? How does this
Right.
happen? I just finished 8 years of academia and no one told me. How does this happen? So I said,
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to learn, girl, because I was already an avid learner, right? I just did
Yeah,
8 years of academia. And I was like,
right.
I am going to learn everything there is to ever learn about how two people attract each other, why they find one person attractive over the other, so that I never, ever accidentally recreate
Oh,
this pattern again. And that's what I
wow.
did.
Listen, your story is way more common than people want to admit, especially us ladies. We don't want to admit those things, right? We don't want to talk about those things. But I shout out to you for one being transparent about that because I know how it is. Like you had all the things together. So you should have the perfect life, right? Talking about that because as you said, it was definitely a heartbreak for you. But I want to talk about like when it comes to us ambitious women, because we claim that, right? We claim it. Why do you feel like that we attract what I would call unavailable partners? And I kind of have an idea on that, but I'd like for you to chime in on that and see if we kind of in sync with that.
Wait, what's your idea?
My idea is because we're used to doing everything ourselves, right? We're used to stepping up and just saying, I'm going to handle this. I got control. I'm doing this. And because I feel like that we use our titles, the schooling to claim that, I think that sometimes that's where we come in and become unavailable. So I'd love for you to chime in on that.
Yeah, I mean, then that's a great first step is essentially, we don't know our worth.
Hmm.
Right? So our school system, our society teaches us you are worthy when you have $1 million or you're married, just the status, not a healthy marriage, just married, or you got a degree or whatever it is. And so there's these like little timeline pieces.
Yes.
And you're just like, if I hit that, then somebody will love me. I will be lovable. I will be worthy. And it's a really big subconscious understanding. Like, I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't even know what that looked like. I didn't know
Right.
what that was. And so that in my program now, I educate people on two totally different things that like merge. One is how to love yourself. And the other one are the healthy and unhealthy signs of men during the dating process.
Yeah.
But we feel subconsciously as ambitious women that we need to be the dominant ones in the relationship to feel safe
Yeah.
because if they need us, subconsciously, we think,
Right.
if they need us, guess what they are less likely to do?
Leave us.
Leave us.
Yeah.
But then we attract these effing losers who are not as awesome as us. And what do they eventually do pretty fast on?
Yeah, cheat. They do all the extra stuff, the unnecessary stuff. They cheat. They may be abusive. Like all of those things come into play. I feel like sometimes, and I love what you said because we are not identifying with ourselves. We are just following what society tells us to do. I've always felt that way. I just didn't know how to like identify it until like after my own transformational start. I always felt that there was something that was wrong with how society portrayed that. And I know that, just having conversations with women, there are a lot of women who are in loveless marriages. They are, just accepting all the things. They're continuously accepting cheaters and the infidelity, the abuse, and things like that. And I sometimes don't want to categorize the abuse because I understand. However, we still feel like that we are taking that because as a woman, having a man somehow tells us that we're complete. So we don't care what the man does and what he feels like and all of that stuff, but we can say that we have a man.
And that means we're not alone
Yeah,
and unlovable because
yeah,
there's someone loving us. But if love comes without calm, it's never love.
it's facts.
It's a guise of exchange.
Yep,
And two people exchanging what they can get from the other person instead of loving up on them exactly who they are is a life filled with misery. And they do leave us, even if they don't leave us physically because that relationship ended, which does happen.
right.
They leave us emotionally. They're smoking
Mhm.
pot, they're playing the video game, they're taking the money, they're unavailable, they don't answer their phone. So, like, we think we need to find someone just a little less than us so that they need us, so they don't leave us, but they leave us. It
Yep,
is what happens, but we don't realize that until we bring the patterns to the forefront and say, oh, snap, I don't want someone who I can help. I want
yeah.
someone who I'm already inspired by.
Yep. Yep. I love that. And I think even too, because whether we grew up as moms or, grew up with that needy factor of feeling needed, that's what we bring into our relationships. Oh, you need me. You can't leave me. Like I've heard that all the time. And it's like, oh, but that's not how you should be feeling about that. It's healthy versus unhealthy. And what I'm actually starting to see more of, and I'm sure you are too, but the more promotion of an unhealthy relationship, the more
Oh,
accepting of
oh.
saying, "Oh, this is what it is, I can't." But I love what you said. It goes back to really our self-worth. And it really just starts with self. I want people to understand that. It starts with self. Like someone coming to you and basically saying, I'm tired of dealing with these assholes, like, I am really tired of repeating these same cycles. Like, what's the first step that you're gonna take for them coming in to your world?
I mean, the first step I take is I book a free discovery call and I go through their patterns. And then I diagnose their patterns and then I offer them my program that can help them break it. But for all the listeners, I mean, you're welcome to book a call,
Absolutely. We'll
connectwithkaya.com.
have the link
Everyone,
on there for
LA.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
But for this episode, like the first thing I really say when they have a little openness and gentleness with my blunt speech is
I love it.
stop lying. Like you're not that okay. Your
Yeah,
relationship is not that great.
yeah,
Your pain, it's been there for a while. Your
yeah,
loneliness, it exists. This is not okay. No, you don't deserve this. No, it's not normal. I know he does X, Y, and Z, but still, you're in pain way too
yeah.
frequently. So, like, get real with what you're feeling and what you truly believe you deserve.
Ladies, we've gotta stop accepting what we know we don't need in our lives. And we wonder why the chaos comes in, and we wonder why we're not, in tune, and we wonder why things aren't happening. There's a whole cycle of things that you're wanting to do, whether it is within your business, starting, scaling, whatever it is. You got to ask yourself, why are these things not happening? It's because personally, you've got chaos going on in your relationships, from a domestic perspective, from a family perspective, we can't leave that out. But there are so many things that you are living in chaos in. You can't bring chaos with you. And I love what you said. Stop lying, right? Stop lying to yourselves. Stop justifying the behaviors that you know that you would not be accepting. I always even take it. If you've got a daughter, do you
Yeah.
want your daughter to experience the things that you're going through?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want them to see what it is that you're going through? And then what justification are you going to have to them when they start repeating the same patterns that you're repeating? It's not the days of, oh, I worked hard for this. No, you got to work hard for everything. That's what holistic is all about. Like, really
Yeah.
understanding that you've got to get rid of the chaos personally, professionally, business wise, all of those things. And going even back from the healthy versus unhealthy, because I really feel like some of us kind of put the blinders over our eyes when we hear somebody saying, like, oh, this is what it is, I support you. But if somebody's really supporting you, there shouldn't be a but behind that. Would you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah. I don't think that there should be a but behind it. And even when we're coming to our business, I want you to talk a little bit about the differences between support versus stress, right? The difference between a partner who actually does support the mission versus one that is like draining the mission. What are some of the signs? We know them, but of course, I just want my listeners to get some insight on that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think I would break it down just into sobriety, safety, and spirituality. If the man is not sober, right? If he's watching porn all the time, if he's smoking pot, if he's, taking your money and buying stuff that he doesn't really need, if he is he drinking every night or just a bunch on the weekends, which is
right,
still alcoholism, we need to see that that type of instability in his own behavior when he drains his own energy and doesn't know how to love himself and avoids all of his pain and his emotional capacity is low, like that parallels you. That is already showing you that you're in a high-low relationship as well, meaning you get high highs and you get low lows, which is also a form of addiction. Like codependency is addiction. It is just addiction of love and approval in a relationship instead of a substance. But it follows the exact same pattern, which again, I didn't know after
right.
8 years of psychological degrees. And so I had to become an expert on my own. But women need to know that you're addicted too. It's called intermittent positive reinforcement. It's like, he's going to love me. We're going to work out. He's going to change. Oh, shit. He just did that again. No, it's never going to work out. I can't believe I'm living this life. Oh, but he said he loved me and he's sorry. Oh, shit. He just hit me again. I'm going to leave. Right. You go up and down. And your brain physiologically has nothing to do with your emotions, becomes addicted to the
Mhm.
dopamine hits of the hope that it's going to change.
Ooh, that's
And the
oh,
chaos feeds the addiction.
yeah.
And so the only way for a woman to get out of these relationships is separation, like physical, actual proximity, distance. Otherwise, the loop can't break. She just can't get out of it, which is why when you talk to an addict, whether it's substances or in relationship, they can't hear you. You're like, he just hit you yesterday. Like, what are you still doing? They literally can't hear you. They
Mm,
just think, oh, but he loves me and she doesn't
yeah,
know how good he is or blah, blah, blah. He already said, she doesn't know. They cannot hear
yeah,
you.
yeah.
And so we have to understand first and foremost sobriety. Second, and that means you got to get sober too so that you stop,
Right,
like,
right.
the second one is spirituality. Any man who believes he's the shit, he's the one who's gonna make your world great or rock your world or withdraw his love and threaten you when you do the wrong thing or tell you that you should be lucky to be with him. He's his own God.
Mm,
And a man who believes that he is his own God will destroy women. I mean, like that is they thrive off that power. That
yeah,
is how they survive on earth with such low self-esteem and distortion. So believing, you have to see a man who can humble himself to something greater than him. And the other one is safety. Like, Do you feel like you're calm around this person, like physical and emotional safety? A lot of times, women in unhealthy relationships, even in business or with friendships and romance, they're always never really calm. They're kind of never really safe that they can relax. They're always like on edge or a little nervous or a little like, what's going to happen, a little anxious. And
Facts.
so that is an indication that your relationship is like gone for, a long time.
Mm, mm, mm. That's something that I had to do for myself. And really doing that, I had to realize that I had to take some time. I'm blessed to be able to say that I'm still with the same partner, but honestly, he could have walked away because there were a lot of patterns that I refused to identify in the beginning. There were a lot of things that I refused to accept and change. I had that I was always right mindset. I had that don't you say nothing to me. I had that I was almost about to get violent mindset. Like all of those things I used to carry from a generational trauma perspective, from all of those things. But I also had to do the work. So, ladies, while you are listening to this and feeling like that we're on here bashing and we're not, because in order for you to break free from all of the things that she just talked about, you've got to make sure that you are doing the work on yourself first. So whether you are in a relationship right now and you're fighting and dealing with it, being able to identify, because once you do that inner work, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to identify who's for you and who's not. I know it was for me, and not just from a domestic perspective, but from friendships, from family. I was able to be more aware of self and also be like, yeah, you bring chaos to my life. You constantly bring chaos to my life. I've got to break free from that. I'm talking about 30-year friendships because of the work that I was doing. So I want you guys to understand that, yes, we are definitely talking about you breaking free from the toxicity, the chaos, but you also got to break free from it from you first, from here. Because your brain, your emotions, all of those things got you feeling like just because you got a man that you are the bomb, but you got a man that is not pouring into you. You've got a man that's not doing anything because guess what? It's almost like a reflection because you're not doing that for yourself. Because if you was, he wouldn't even be there.
It's so true. It's not about bashing, it's
Right.
about breaking the shame
Come on.
because I was that person. The clients that I work with, I was like, I was you,
Dang.
you know?
Facts.
And so but now I'm in an extraordinary happy marriage
Yeah.
for almost 10 years now with
Right.
my cute kids and my little beautiful life. And so it's a testament that you could attract addicts or narcissists for like
Right.
your whole life, but also once you heal, you don't even like you're not even attracted to them.
That
Yeah.
part.
Like,
Ooh.
a guy who shows up who smokes a joint, you're like, "Get the ooh, like, you are nasty, bro." Like, before I was like, "Maybe I can get him to love me.
Yes.
Maybe if he chooses me, I'll be lovable." Like, I love how he's so chill and relaxed. I like potheads because my dad was a pothead, right? So it was all
Yeah.
these subconscious things. I was just like, "Oh, he won't hurt me. He just wants to hurt himself." This was all subconscious. And that's the truth. I dated these really nice, amazing, spiritual, sweet, intelligent men who never wanted to hurt me. They only wanted to hurt themselves. However, by never knowing how to love themselves, they had no idea how to love me. And by never knowing how to commit to anything,
Yeah.
they could never commit to me. So I was just wasting my life.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get real that we either are wasting our life hoping and waiting for things to change, or we're actually living an extraordinary life that we're proud of. But there's no middle ground.
No.
There's no middle ground.
Please tell them again. You can't ride the fence, people. You
Yeah.
can't ride the fence. It's
We're
either
a
one
broken pony.
side or the other.
You can't ride a broken pony. Like,
Oh my God, yo. Listen, y'all. It's facts. It's facts. You've got to be ready to do that work. And another thing I want us ladies to understand is if you're not willing to do the work, if you are having someone that may see you and could be that person, because ladies, I'm big on accountability. Y'all know that. It could be that person that is coming in that's trying to, do a little uplifting. Again, pay attention to who's pouring in versus who's draining. If you've got somebody that's pouring in, you better start aligning yourself and being like, you know what? I feel that this man is really trying to pour in because I have also seen where women have chased men away because they are not willing to do the work. So If you want him to do the work, you better be just as willing to do the work. Again, I'm so grateful for my partner because we are growing together. We are able to have those uncomfortable conversations. We are able to discuss them. Whether it's an argument, a disagreement, it's not anything that's blowing up to where we're not able to sit down and have conversation about it. I love that. I didn't used to be that person. I'm right, damn it. And this is what it's going to be. Right. So to be able to have that and to be able to listen and be receptive, that's a part of my healing journey. There's a lot of things that I'm healing, and I'm gonna always use the ing part because I'll probably take my last breath healing, right? And I love that for myself. It has put me in a softer space. It has put me in a safer space. And I just want all women to be able to have that experience in their lifetime.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. And the two things I want to touch upon that is just one, if you're dating and a man pours into you a lot, it is often a sign of love bombing. Healthy men are pretty like boring in the beginning.
Mhm.
They don't like chase. They'll pursue, but they're not like, "You're the most amazing person, and let's be together," and, like,
Yeah.
they don't do lavish gifts or lavish compliments or make you feel like you're the best thing that's ever come into their life. Like, it is
Right,
important that
right.
women understand what love bombing looks
Mhm.
like, because healthy love is very calm in the beginning. It's
Absolutely it
not
is.
very, like
Yep.
he is showing up consistently,
Right.
but it is just very calm instead of grand. I just want women to get that note.
Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. It's definitely that, it's like a flow, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like a flow, it's not anything forced, it's not anything that's pushed, you know what I'm saying? It's, again, the flow. So, yeah, I definitely I'm glad that you, put that in there because I agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah, and the other things I just wanted to touch upon is like when we women get angry and like, I don't need you, we're just like what you were saying, like they get violent. I'm right. This is the way it's going to be. Like, I mean, it for me and the way that I understand it with my clients is like, we're just so afraid of being abandoned that we
Mhm.
can't be vulnerable.
Yep.
And it's like the irony, right? We attract men who are lower than us because we don't want to be left, but then they
Yep.
leave us. And the same thing is like, we're like, this is the way it's going to be. You don't understand. Like, you got to get your shit together or I'm going to leave you. And it's
Right.
like, we are just scared shitless of being left. And
Mhm.
we don't know how to be vulnerable. And we don't know how to be feminine. We don't know how to be safe because we haven't developed a safe space. And so we take our dominance, our masculinity in a way to feel control,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, we don't really have control. It's just fear. And so when we can say, you know what, like, I actually want this to work out. Like, I'm actually really afraid right now of this conflict. Like, this doesn't feel good for me.
Mhm.
Like, I don't like fighting. Is there a way we can work this out? And then you see how they respond. But, we have to get to a place where we're real instead of the lying. Like, I don't
Yeah.
need you. But if you kind of love them, you kind of don't maybe need them, but you kind of want them.
You want
And
them, you desire
you
them,
desire it,
yes.
and you do not wanna get abandoned,
Yeah,
you know?
it's facts. It's facts. I love that. I love that. At the end of the day, love is what it is, guys, but also understanding that loving yourself is the first thing to being able to create more healthy systems for yourself, and as women business owners, understanding that that also is going to help you continuously build the business. I think that some of the characteristics that we carry when it comes to dating and relationships, we kind of bring over into our business. We want to have
Yes,
control.
yes.
We don't need nobody to help us, so some of the things I think it's very similar. So that's why I really wanted to talk about this on the show today because it is a lot of things that are similar. And I want to ask you, just how have you, continues to evolve within your marriage and everything like that once you began that journey of like shifting and really understanding everything from an inner perspective?
I mean, for the women listening who are entrepreneurs or women who wanna make money, like, this is the key, because if you don't know how to be vulnerable, you don't know how to lead, and you
Mm,
can't grow as a single person entrepreneur. Eventually, if you want a business that grows, you have a team, you get more people on it. And you need to learn how to lead. And a leader that leads healthy without a company crumbling over
yes.
time knows how to be vulnerable instead of needing the control, needing to be dominant, needing to be the one who's always right or calling all the shots. You have to say, I'm feeling really confused on this issue. Got who here has some help for it versus like, this is what I think we need to do. And if you don't believe that, then I don't want to hear from you. Like vulnerability is the key. And so for me, as I've been evolving, I honestly realized, like, in the past 2 years when my business was growing a lot and I was doing a lot more work through my clientele, I was like, oh shit, like I have a tiny, we all have a tiny bit of narcissism where we get afraid
Yeah.
and then we need to be dominant and we can't say I'm sorry or hear the other person. So one thing that was that I'm really trying to work on empathy. How
Mm.
can I empathize with people I don't agree with, people I don't like, things that I don't get? My husband, when I just want to fight, not like fight, I have an amazing husband. Like when I just want to distance myself out of protection, like how do I empathize with what he's going through and connect to his emotions, not my own?
Yeah.
And actually, like, how do I do that with my kids? Like, how do I show my kids empathy? Like, stop crying like there's nothing, like you're
Right.
fine. Like, really feel how it might feel. And I've just been working on that because empathy is a skill set
It is.
and vulnerability of saying I need help is a real skill set, especially for women or
Right.
strong women. So I'm still working on saying I need help,
I love
but um, but at least I'm working on it. So
absolutely.
I know the skill set that is to be developed.
That's a plus. I love it. I love that. We are, and I feel like I want to say that we are experts, true enough, but we're still human people. We still go through things. No one's telling you that we have life all figured out. But the one thing that I have evolved into is a lifelong learner. I didn't used to be that. So understanding that I'm always open to learning, I'm always open to being into spaces that are going to help me with that is all about that, and I'm pretty sure that that's what you're doing as well. Because I love that. I love look, you see, like, the last 2 years, hey, listen, let me tell y'all something. I love it, sis. I love that. I think it's amazing. We get ready to wrap up here. I would love for you to share like some form of maybe like a grounding technique or anything that you feel like could help, women kind of keep themselves aligned, keep themselves in tune, but also keep themselves on the journey to being able to find, their better half eventually. Whether they're single right now, they may be dating and need to evaluate, or even married right now. I'd just love for you to share some tips for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're dating, I have a free dating training. You can go to epiclovedating.com and it just teaches you the 7 most common dating mistakes and how to avoid them.
Nice.
I think as a general rule, journal.
Mhm.
After having my private practice for over 10 years, I realized all the stories were confidential. And I was like, these are the same stories over and over and over again. How do I publicize this? So I created my own podcast, the 100% podcast. You're 100% effed up and still simultaneously 100% lovable. And that podcast now are these women's stories. And through interviewing so many women who've been through severe abuse, narcissism. Most of the women are highly educated, successful women. And all the men between years 5 to 8 after being with them tried to kill them.
Mm,
I'm like, not exaggerating.
yeah,
I did
I
not
believe
know
it.
the prevalence, bro. Like,
Yeah, I
just for
believe
your
that.
just for the stats, because I think it's freaking mind blowing,
Yeah.
43% of all female homicides in the United States is done by the intimate partner. Almost half of the women dying in the United States are killed by who they are loving, who loves them.
That is
And that
crazy.
shit blew my mind.
Bet it did. I bet it did.
And then I
What?
interviewed the women and they're like, he strangled me. He put a gun in my head. He banged, and and they was trying to kill him. And these are not to be like people have race issues. I don't, but
Yeah, for
these
sure.
are a lot of my guests were white, educated women. This is not what you see on TV or
Not
stereotypes.
at all.
It
Not at
was
all. Tell
Educated
them.
no, educated white women. So it's irregardless of color, it's
Yep.
irregardless of education, it's
Yeah.
irregardless of intelligence level, and that's kinda what I love about it. It just broke a lot of, like, stereotypes.
Yeah.
I was like, "If you don't know how to love yourself and you don't know how to say the truth, you are likely to end up almost dead." And again, it sounds extreme, but it's not.
It's not.
It's
That's the
not.
thing. Society wants us to make it seem like it's extreme. It's not. These are the conversations that need to be had. I say it all the time. These conversations are necessary, and it's the reality. However, you're looking at that. Oh my god, yo, 43%?
43. 7
That's
women
crazy.
every single day in the United States die because of who they love, their
Mm.
intimate partner. So just for everyone listening as like a blanket statement, whether you're married or not married or single or whatever, journal. One of the best ways that a lot of these women who are in abusive relationships were able to get some clarity because the abuser distorts your sense of self, and makes you feel like you're the crazy one or there's something wrong with you and you should just give them what they need to make the peace. Journaling really helped them realize how bad it was. And I know someone who was so afraid to journal because she was afraid the guy would like see her journal and, then be, if you can't even journal,
Hey,
leave. But if you can, get to know your feelings so that you can
yeah,
see a little more clearly the pain you're truly in.
absolutely. I love that. Oh, y'all. This has been a deep one. I love it. I absolutely love it. Please let them know where they can find you at socials and all that good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, everyone, if you're looking especially for an elite dating coach to get the relationship of your dreams into your reality, you can find me at Epic Love Expert because I say a lot of relationships are, you get to epic. So, Epic Love Expert is all my socials. If you want a free discovery call, a free relationship audit, you go to connectwithkaya.com and I just speak with you about your patterns and diagnose where exactly you are and then give you options of how to heal that so that you don't have to wonder or do this alone. And that's really the essence of it all.
I
I
love it.
mean, everyone just needs to know that whether you're married or single, we're always growing, we're always learning, we're always healing. And the best thing I can say is don't be afraid of creating a broken home. Be
Mm.
way more afraid of keeping the broken people in your home.
Ooh. And on that note, make sure you have subscribed to the Upgraded Mindsets Media channel, you guys. These conversations are so necessary. And I'm going to say this, you cannot lead anything within business, entrepreneurship, if you are too afraid or too broken and unwilling to lead yourself. All right. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you share this with somebody because I can almost guarantee somebody's going to need to hear this message. All right. Information for Kaya will be in the show notes. Check it out. Sign up for that audit, and I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace out.